Hi, I'm Barry John, and welcome back to Let's Play Overload. I have co-pilots, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
I'm A172. I'm still somewhere.
Hey, this is Crazy Ahmed. I'm wherever you are, I guess.
I'm Laylite, and all my organs seem to still be in place.
School and military.
And I would like to introduce everybody to the player character, Alex Warden.
The day I signed on.
This is the only time we're going to hear him talk in the game.
On Titan. How I admired Gabriel Kantor.
Well, I guess this proves we're not the missing third AI, perhaps.
His vision for humankind.
I do like how there's the warning gravitational distortion detected sign over everything that's going on right now, because we're in the middle of a wormhole. We have no idea what's going on.
I mean, even if we were in the Dyson sphere, there's a lot of gravitational distortion there, too.
Yeah.
Falling asleep.
Yeah, I did introduce saying I'm somewhere, but if we're in a wormhole, like, maybe I'm not somewhere, right? Like, yeah.
Well, I guess a wormhole is a form of teleportation, perhaps.
There you are. But where is there? No point of reference now.
Well, Lyranicus, obviously.
Way is up. A million years into the future?
Title cards. Duh.
It's happening now. I can hear music in my head. It's a strange sound. A familiar tune I don't think I've ever heard before.
Uh-oh.
Is this music we've heard before?
Unfortunately, Kantor is not singing along with the background music.
Oh.
Yeah, a little bit of diegetic audio would have been fantastic there.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it being a remix of an old Descent tune, but I'm not hearing it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, kind of rude of the alien robots to not put any windows in this place.
Oh, absolutely, like...
Alien skies, always more beautiful than our own.
Mm-hmm. Or at least different enough to draw the attention. So getting out of this first room is always an exercise in interesting, because the first time you hit that power switch, an enemy teleports in. And then you gotta fight your way out of the room into the next room that has people, or has enemies in it.
Yeah, this seems like a setup designed to lock you in with some dangerous enemies. Because it's just awkward enough that you're probably not going to make it out on your first try, and the door's going to shut in your face and you're trapped in there.
Yeah. So you might have noticed there, I flew through the teleporter going from one side of the room to another. Which I think is kind of neat, and it gives you a chance to experience it in a safe location before they bring it up later on.
Oh,
so
that's what that
Pac-Man
glowy bit on the side is.
Yep. Boop, 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 boop. Sorry.
Well, that's a nice way of showing where your spatial anomalies are, rather than just leaving it to the player to discover them as you fly through some tunnel and wind up right back where you were.
Yeah. So you mentioned last level about how you're wondering if Gabriel Kantor had already been subverted by the Sovereign. Well, that's actually what's going on with him right now.
Oh, they're doing that extremely signaled brainwashing thing, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
Too bad, but oh well. Understandable. Well, I hope we get some more enemy variety soon.
We're not. It's the same 3-4 enemy types from here on out.
What was that?
That is the time bomb, which slows everything down around me, giving me the chance to do silly stuff like this.
Everything is now
Yeah, I guess
extremely
that's
vaporwave.
the laser Hulk there.
Yeah, the Xeno Scourge is the alien version of our Scourge, while the alien ships get their own designation, so you can see in the upper right when I destroy them how they react, or how they're identified. Now, this entire section I'm flying through is completely optional, as in fact the only way to get a certain piece of Kantor dialogue that you would otherwise miss.
That does raise the question. Go ahead.
the Sovereign manipulates that system, mapping impulses that fire across synapses into the widening gap between neurons. What is different now?
I feel like widening gaps between neurons is not a healthy thing.
Well, he does that optional transmission is basically him sort of explaining how this sovereign brainwashing works. Yeah, that's enough of that corridor. I think I'm going to go down the other. Maybe not.
So this raises the question of how our ship knows what the names are of the alien ships.
NFC tags.
It's a gameplay thing, but I honestly don't think it. I don't want to say it doesn't really matter, but
Yeah, like Xenoscourge is a reasonable new name that we can give out, but we just don't know what an Inviculus is.
yeah.
I'm not
It's
too.
Majora's Mask.
My Latin is not too sharp at the moment, I'm afraid.
Ow.
All I could think of looking at the Invictus was, it looks like Majora's Mask, but like neonized.
That's certainly one way of looking at it.
Well, so far the teleporters have been set up to our benefit, but I think it's only a matter of time before they get used for ambushes.
During... Well, what was it? I hit the secret level in the next level. By the way, I missed the secret level. I hit it up in the next level, and the spawn points for the enemies in that level are based on the teleporters in that secret area.
Oh, so do you get like an enemy that's just like floating there, but halfway in between one portal and another?
Well, sort of. It's a case of they'll spawn in the enemies at the teleporter using a teleport in effect.
Oh, I'm disappointed, but oh well.
Checks out for a secret level though. I really quite like them where they're sort of they do something that's a bit weird and gimmicky.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of teleport puzzles where you can kind of control whether individual pads are on or off, and you can kind of exploit them to, I don't know, teleport right all the way through a wall way far off into the distance, and that's how you get to a secret area.
Underwater, peering up at sunlight from below the surface, watching the play of shadows.
So a quick web search. Inviculus, which is what these guys are called, seems to be a made-up word at first glance.
It's probably related to
I thought it was-
Invictus.
Yeah, I'd say the Latin Invictus, ironically enough, means undefeated. But
Yeah, that doesn't
that's
seem
not
like the
quite
sort
what
of
it
thing
is.
you would want to put on mass-produced units.
yeah, that shows up when they die.
Sorry, just me being turbo paranoid here, because I've played through this level a few times, so...
Yeah, I suppose giving everybody fusion weaponry is a good excuse to up the enemy damage, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's also lowered the enemy count. Like, I've only destroyed 24 enemies on this level, and I'm already, like... Okay, I'm a third of the way through the video, but... It's, like... Ugh. It
Yeah,
becomes
that's true. We haven't seen any generators yet. That's another excellent way to make us all miserable that isn't there.
Well, also, the fact that they don't need generators because they're simply, like, they can teleport in.
Well, that just even raises further questions. Where are they teleporting in from?
The factory.
Well, speaking
When
of
are they
factories,
teleporting in from? Are we fighting this, like, multiple timeline displaced copies of the same 4 enemies over and over again? Did they just, like, cheap out on costs by building 4 robots that exist at multiple points in the time stream?
That would be absolutely hilarious, but this isn't that kind of game.
Would that even work if you're actually destroying them in between, though?
It works as long as you're destroying them in reverse chronological order. And you don't care about
suppose that's true.
paradoxes. Or paradoxen.
So that little room I'm trying to highlight there, that's actually a secret area that has a invincibility power-up in it.
Ah.
Seems useful.
All the alien...
Is, but,
Sorry, go ahead.
Getting to it is a case of, fighting your way through stuff.
We were just talking earlier in this game about how this game didn't have a whole bunch of Doom-like monster closets, but that was absolutely a monster closet right there.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, all the alien names being non-words is actually reminding me of what I've been told that pharmaceutical companies do, so that they can make sure that they can trademark everything and it's not something that's already used anywhere else. Which I think takes me to another theory I had about the plot, which I think has been discredited because Kantor has obviously been taken over by the AI, which is that the AI was being manipulated by Kantor. Which would have made sense with all of this, because then he can trademark all this cool alien shit he's found.
Right?
Well, it's implied that was like Kantor's plan A, was to get all this fancy tech off the alien ship that's been crashed and nobody's living on it anymore. Then, turn that into, Kantor, greatest scientist in the history of mankind, blah, blah, blah. But then they found the Sovereigns, and things went from bad to worse.
Yeah, it's true. AIs are kind of overrepresented on the whole mind control aspect. There's way more instances of AIs mind controlling humans than the other way around, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, because
I suppose that's the normal state of affairs in modern society, though.
I was going to say, usually people reprogram AIs, they don't mind control them.
Yeah. Although, mind you, Kantor
terminology.
seems to be quite keen on the whole singularity and merging with the AI thing anyway, so maybe the AI has listened to him and just gone, yeah, okay, cool, let's do it, you wanted this.
Yeah. To me, it sounds like it was just a path to immortality for him.
I can't believe I'm about to make this comparison, but this reminds me of the last part of Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. I'm not going to bring up any further details, but if you watch that movie, you know what I mean.
Giving somebody exactly what they wanted, but at the same time not giving it to them?
Exactly. Like, your body just can't handle your gift.
That's a classic sound effect right there.
Oh yeah, it's the exact same sound effect.
Fantastic. Yeah, from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, it is literally the only movie I've ever watched has given me motion sickness from that ending sequence.
Understandable.
Also, I'm loving the fact that I'm invincible during this little brawl here.
It certainly helps.
And Kantor continues to lose it.
If he starts singing Daisy, Daisy, we're just going to have to shut him off, I'm afraid.
You try. God,
So
how many people have actually watched that movie now?
Less and less, I'm afraid.
I know.
So
I mean, if I started humming Blue Danube, like, how many people even get the fact that I'm making a reference at this point?
More people should watch that movie, though, just to see how the live model special effects hold up after so many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this is just me being hyper paranoid. I know.
Hyper paranoid would involve firing more creepers, I think.
Anyway, I'm zero. Sorry, go ahead.
I'd say I had previously considered like the little bit of tracking to your Thunderbolt there as more of like an aim assist, but I saw you use it earlier to actually make some shots that you didn't have a straight shot on to get through, wind through some of those corridors. That's quite nice.
It also worked against you where I can sort of, tilt the shot to try and hit an enemy that's out of direct line of sight, but then the shots will see, quote-unquote, a new enemy that's closer and try to hit them instead.
So you try and catch two rabbits, but you catch neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 0 for 2 on plot twist predictions now, but I think what we've been hearing from Kantor does cement what I said in the thread about him being one of those CEOs. He's probably just scheduled the robots kill everyone meeting for a month earlier and didn't realise he clicked the wrong button in Outlook Express or whatever.
I just assumed that was the AI saying, "Now we're going to do this our way."
Oh, picked up overdrive, and there we go. Let's hit the last secret level of the game.
Well, it's Omega. It would be out of character if there were another one after that.
Yep. So you see how I mentioned there how enemies will spawn from the teleporter, so...
Well, of course there has to be a multiplayer level with teleporters in it. That's only natural.
Yeah. Also, don't forget... Actually, what was it? I had 20 minutes of footage for the secret level that I wound up leaving on the cutting room floor.
You're gonna have to clean that up when you're done. Just all those raw video files. That's a tripping hazard.
Don't worry, I cleaned up after myself.
So what is triggering the slowdown here?
The time bomb that's what it does. That its gimmick is that it slows everything down, so that you, as the player, can actually react faster, relatively speaking.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I didn't see it earlier.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work in multiplayer because of the way things work out.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we've only seen one super alien enemy before. I think it was like glowing pure white or something. I wonder if we're gonna get any spawning here.
We should. Just have to get to that point. Ah.
Jeez, they're really starting to pile up.
Did you get bumped through a teleporter there?
Yes.
Okay.
But the important part was that, oh, by the way, there was an invisible enemy that got summoned in. So I killed it and I grabbed the cloaking device.
Oh, it was
nice.
It was a phantom from one of the earlier levels?
Yes.
I guess this answers my question
Yeah,
about how does the cyclone
the
hold
concept
up.
the world... Go ahead, you were saying?
Oh, I guess this answers my question about how the cyclone holds up compared to the newer weapons. Pretty well.
That is a concept the world is not yet ready for. A cloaked fusion Hulk.
And one of those enemies randomly dropped a invincibility power-up.
What?
Oh, nice.
Yep.
That can just randomly happen?
In the secret levels, yep. That's why I'm invulnerable right now. Seriously, as far as having played through the secret levels, the thing I can tell you is that, what was the word? My success on them really depends on finding on getting these random cloaking or invulnerability power-ups and then just going to town without...
Yeah, that seems like the sort of thing you would want to have be on a schedule rather than be random. Like, you would want one specific enemy in this lineup to drop it, and, like, have it be marked or something, so you can plan for it.
But that was me completing the level simply by dropping so many mines, the enemy spawns blew themselves up.
Beautiful.
Sounds like a legitimate strategy.
I've always been a fan of those fast-firing alternate weapons where you just have a cloud of missiles or bombs or whatever. So satisfying.
I mean, really, laying minefields around and waiting for your enemies to teleport into them is simply just four-dimensional thinking.
Of course, now I'm kinda out of missiles.
You know what we haven't seen yet? An alien thief bot.
And which we're not going to.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm very okay with us not having seen a thief bot in this game.
There is no thief bot in the game. And here is a Lancer for pickup in case you didn't grab it as a secret or as that side access passage in the previous level.
Yeah, you need one, for the pistol start. Excuse me, I mean the basic start.
I appreciate how you can see the different weapons as you equip them in the size of your screen there.
Yeah, it is a nice little feature there. And you can see that if you have a look at your model from the outside, like when you're teleporting out or whatnot, or at the end of the level when you're escaping the explosion, you can also see it on the outside of the model. Which means that in multiplayer, your opponents can see what you're wielding just by looking at your model.
It does make me wonder where it goes when it's not equipped, but just the hammer space, I suppose.
Probably
I guess
the same
that's
place.
one more advantage
It is
of
neat.
being cloaked, then, is hiding that information from your opponent.
Yeah. So you may have noticed a cut there, that little blink. Trust me, because I didn't have so much luck with this next little section here.
You're coming in with low shielding already.
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems like an area where you could just die in like 3 or 4 hits, get comboed to death. Oh, he was right there. That's a good sniper perch.
Mm-hmm. Because this next section requires activating multiple energy stations.
Oh, more of those ambushes. One for every
Yeah.
switch, I presume.
Yep. But you gotta have multiple switches active at the same time, which means multiple ambushes at the same time.
Yeah, and because of that
Is there
timing
an
requirement, it's hard for you to get to an advantageous spot for these ambushes.
Do you get a new ambush each time you trigger the same switch?
No, fortunately.
And can you shoot through the teleporters?
No, not really.
Oh. That's unfortunate. Like, you would really want, the ideal for a teleporter would be for it to just be a rift in space through which you can actually see the, endpoint, but I suppose it just wasn't practical with the engine they were using.
Just straight up portal it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I missed the time.
It does change the dynamics of the game a little bit, and so I guess it depends on how you're wanting to design it.
Actually, now I realize what's going on. I guess these, Switch runs are basically this world's equivalent of the lockdowns we've seen earlier.
Yeah, they are in a way. Also, I completely miss a side area that leads to another secret, but at this point I was of my practice run, and the fact that I reloaded this section so many times it wasn't even funny anymore. I just completely forgot about it.
Yeah, you gotta be careful about that or you'll burn out your restart coil. We wouldn't want that.
I found that funnier than I should have, by the way.
Thank you.
There was funny?
Restart coil? That... just the phrasing of it.
Yeah, it's right next to the flux capacitor.
Yeah.
You mean to
it
tell me
fits,
your
right?
computer
Like-
doesn't have one?
No.
No.
Dream. I remember. Gabriel Kantor. Juno Offworld. Cronus Frontier. Now, who am I? Alex, are you there? Don't leave me here.
Oh no, bad guy regrets his decisions after he realizes they're bad.
There's something about viewing the entire universe that gives you, a lot more humble perspective on your puny little actions as a mortal.
Yeah.
No loneliness. No pain. No isolation. What a gift. The end of self. Of delusion. Of death. The end. Sovereign is not one being, but trillions. Countless empires consumed, digested, metabolized into emptiness.
So is he unregretting his decision now?
Yeah.
And then re-regretting here?
Kantor has checked out. We will not be talking to
Is it?
Kantor anymore in this game. Or he won't be talking to us.
Yeah,
We're
it
going to
seems
be
like
talking
he's
to the
just-
hive mind, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading from that too.
So you can see
Little
down
bit
at
of-
the bottom of the map there that little side area I skipped, which is my bad. I apologize.
I appreciate that little tiny section of the map looking like a spinal column. It's a nice touch.
It's good shape.
And this... I've said it before and I've said it again, like, I'm being hyper paranoid about some of these things because I know what's coming.
Oh yeah, I don't think you'd want to get pincered by those two if you went in after one of them.
Two? No, trust me, there's a lot more coming.
Yeah, judging by how your armor is dropping there, I think your paranoia is well.
I suppose you're
Oh.
using the driller at this point to save your energy for the really dangerous enemies.
Well, that and it's a centerline weapon with a bit of with a faster fire rate than the Thunderbolt.
These don't really seem like the kind of enemies you can knock out of their attacks.
No, they're not. Boop, 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 boop. Sorry, I'm just humming along with the music.
You just know that the alien janitor bot is going to be ticked that we're leaving so many holes in the walls here.
That's certainly one way of looking. Can you imagine what would happen if the aliens built their alien bots out of the same material they built their walls out of?
Well, then they wouldn't be able to move.
Also, you were saying earlier about firing around corners?
Yeah. Looking pretty handy.
This is probably something that changes on the higher difficulties, but it does always kind of seem to break suspension of disbelief when there's such a muted reaction to getting hit in the face by a projectile from an enemy they can't see.
Well, being
Like they chase after you in much the same manner as someone who can faintly hear an alarm ringing in the distance.
Let's say, being children of the sovereign, they are not accustomed to new information. They just assume they know everything, and so when something happens that they don't understand, it's like, what is that? I don't know how to process that. What's going on?
Or they're just slow on the uptake because what is this guy doing here? Like, what is he doing? How is he doing this?
But on the flip side, like, if we're not expected here, what are they doing here?
Oh, they have to defragment all their memory whenever something new like this crops up.
We're in a little garbage collection cycle.
And once again, we have to activate 4 power cores in order to get to the portal leading out of the level.
I guess this is a nice twist on the old destroy the reactor thing, while still giving a good excuse to fight some tougher enemy groups at the end of a level.
Yeah,
But this time it looks like they spread the switches out a lot more.
they did.
Do they stay activated, or are they on a timer?
They stay activated.
Trap
Nice.
on board a ship.
Because they are far enough apart that if they were on a timer, that would be frustrating really fast.
Ymir, the sovereign is on Ymir. I can feel it now. The way I used to feel my hands and my feet. Hundreds of light years away.
Is Ymir somewhere we've been before?
First level.
Is that first level? Okay.
The portal is opening.
Dang, we must have missed a secret passage somewhere.
Flow through space and time.
Is this going to be a go back and revisit the a level you've already been to, but with new information, new context this time?
Okay, you know what? At this point, we're two levels out from the end of the game. The last level takes place on Ymir, so the first and the last level are the same location, just different context and different objectives.
That's a
Is
good
it
bit
the
of
same map?
symmetry.
Or a similar map?
It's a similar map, like it's the
Okay.
same core to it, but one is pre-alien invasion, the other one is post-alien invasion.
Sure. That's always kind of fun when they have good symmetry like that. It's like revisit a place that's familiar but different.
The closed circle.
That can be done really well. Yeah. It can also be a very cheap mechanic that doesn't work, but when done well, it's a lot of fun.
I like it when it's a good excuse for New Game Plus.
Well, in this game, it's a case of basically bookends more than anything else. Stop teleporting around me, you jackasses.
I hope that they can only teleport based on line of sight. Like, they can't teleport through a corner to wind up on the other side of a corridor to you.
As far as I know, that is correct. Like, they can only teleport line of sight. From themselves.
Yeah. I mean, that's the responsible way to do teleportation, because otherwise sometimes you just wind up with enemies stuck halfway into the wall.
Or outside the level geometry entirely. Homuncular. Like, seriously, what kind of word is that?
Yeah, that
You know,
definitely
frankly,
feels
I'm just glad
trademarkable.
that, for all we've seen of the OSHA complaints, they don't seem to have any lava just running right through the center of any of these inside corridors.
And no hidden passages behind a waterfall of lava. Or I guess lava fall. That for some reason explicably just...
No
Doesn't
mysterious
harm you.
wall devices that are just shooting lightning or lasers every now and then.
Yeah.
No crusher traps.
And that's me realizing that the teleporter portals here actually go to the opposite room, not to the room that they are facing directly.
Actually, yeah, for all of Kantor's complaining about which way is up, like, we've very consistently seen ceiling lights in this place. Or floor lights, or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Sidewall lights. The point is they're all on the same side.
Yeah, some good level design to give you some orientation, give you a sense of direction. Goes a long way.
Yeah, I mean, this being the end of the game, you would think that now would be the time to start subverting that.
There is that.
Well, in its own way, like, don't forget, like, this is a game that's it's from the developers of the previous game, so they've got lots of experience of what is good level design and what isn't. And while 6 Degrees of Freedom is good level, like, can be good level designs, it's when they start letting things get to their heads that the level design starts falling apart. So they avoid that.
Yeah, I did try to look up from the Descent 1 or Descent 2 level editor, there was like a little text file of like, hey, use some of the same design language that was used in the games to help your players out. And they listed what some of those were.
That's
Like,
true.
using
You
the-
don't want to confuse the player too much on purpose.
Yeah, and there was some of the things like the red arrow things on the walls pointing toward the reactor and stuff like that. Use red lights around the red door. Some stuff like that. I could not find it though. I pulled out some of my old Descent discs. Couldn't find it.
Oh, yeah. So the last...
Yes, the PTMC Mine Design Manual.
Yeah, use the exit door for the actual exit. Don't use it anywhere else. Stuff like that.
But that's that for this. I will see you guys next time for, well, Vernacular, or however that's pronounced.